Now on CoastTV News.
Delaware Governor Matt Meyer declares a state of emergency with no changes in the government shutdown. We are 3 days out from that November 1st deadline. Focus on flooding. What parts Delmarva saw this morning as bouts of rain swept across the region.
Well, we've seen a soaking rain this morning across Delmarva, as well as some gusty winds. I'll have the latest timeline on when the rain will be out of here and your latest Halloween forecast.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Today is Thursday, October 30th. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Starting off this morning by taking a live look into Cambridge, and we're joined by our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono. Chris, when I passed the weather desk on my way into the studio this morning, first alert meteorologist Bob Trihey gave me a one-word forecast. He said, precipitation.
Yeah. Yes, we've been looking over the storm coming through, and we've had quite a bit of rain. The rain moved in during the wee hours of the morning, and it continued on and off with some moderate pockets of rainfall throughout the morning. We're at 66 right now in Ocean View, so it's rather mild and muggy out there, and you can see the low clouds there in Ocean View. We've seen some moderate pockets of rain. We have one here pushing right through Ocean View, but most of the shower activity is light now, and we're seeing the last batch of some heavier to moderate rainfall pushing through the southwest portion of the peninsula, and that is lifting through the region as the cold front lifts to the area to the west. That's going to be pushing through the region throughout the afternoon. But you can see most of the heaviest rain has shifted to the north. Now, the Storm Prediction Center maintaining that marginal risk of severe weather. I think this is very low at this hour. You can see the winds right now still gusting out of the southeast at 26 Indian River Inlet, but the winds are going to be relaxing a bit through the afternoon and evening as well. Temperatures holding in the mid to upper 60s at this hour. So we continue to see the shower activity at least for another hour or two, but we are going to be drying out through the afternoon as temperatures get close to 70 degrees, and then we'll be falling into the 50s, eventually the 40s overnight. We'll talk about a windy but dry Halloween ahead.
Thanks, Chris. Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown defending a major offshore wind project against a Trump administration challenge. Brown filed a federal court brief supporting U.S. wind, a project they say is expected to power more than 700,000 homes, create 13,000 jobs, and bring $6 billion in economic benefits to the state. Brown says the administration's attempt to block the project threatens Maryland's clean energy future and good-paying jobs. First phase of the offshore wind farm could begin producing electricity by 2029 if the project is allowed to move forward. New this morning, Delaware Governor Meyer is expected in Kent County today for a ceremonial bill signing of the Richard Mouse Smith Compassionate Release Act. Now, according to Meyer, Smith was a Delaware civil rights leader who advocated for incarcerated individuals, and that law, also known as Senate Bill 10, allows people in prison to apply directly to the sentencing court for possible release. It also gives older or seriously ill and those who have served decades behind bars new opportunities to seek sentence reductions based on rehabilitation or health concerns. For more information on the requirements one must meet to be considered for possible release, head to our article on CoastTV.com. With the federal government shutdown threatening to cut off food assistance in just 3 days, Delaware is taking action, with Governor Matt Meyer announcing a state of emergency to allow weekly state funding for SNAP recipients. That's in the face of this funding lapse caused by the government shutdown. Meyer said the program, which provides food to more than 120,000 people in Delaware, it could run out of money if the federal government does not reopen. The state's plan would cover the cost of the program through the month of November. Happening right now, Maryland Governor Wes Moore is expected to take executive action today, according to his office. This is ahead of a SNAP funding running out on Saturday due to that government shutdown, and Moore says he will announce his plan to help those who rely on the benefits at a meeting that began just moments ago. It began at 11 a.m. Also in Maryland, the state food bank is preparing to meet the expected surge in need for food assistance. It's planning to buy $3 million worth in additional food in anticipation of the loss of SNAP benefits on Saturday. Officials say more than 55,000 people in Maryland on the Eastern Shore rely on SNAP monthly. Local food pantries like Salisbury Urban Ministry say they've already seen more people coming in for help just over the past few months.
We just got a delivery a week ago. $2,000 worth of administrative fee is what it cost us to bring in the food, and some of it was donated and some of it was from the emergency food program. You'll walk through there right now and you'll think, when do you get your next delivery? Because it doesn't look like you've got enough. And that's what we're thinking right now. How are we going to manage this?
During previous government shutdowns, Maryland was reimbursed for funding critical programs like SNAP. But in a statement last week, Governor Wes Moore said the state has gotten zero assurance of reimbursement. And for more information on this, you can head to our article on our website. That is CoastTV.com. And stick around here on Coast TV News Midday. The effects of some serious weather across Delmarva and how it could affect you, that's coming up.
A live look at a damp and cloudy Salisbury. Mild out there, temperature 68 degrees. Winds are out of the south at about 9 miles an hour. We'll see a shower, brief downpour, at least for the next hour, but we're going to begin to dry out through the afternoon. Colleen O'Connor of Millsboro, Delaware, you're the winner of our Coast TV weather umbrella. Coming up, we will talk about the rain clearing out this afternoon and the latest on your Halloween forecast.
But first, bringing history to life in 3D, the new artwork in Lewis catching attention. It's this week's Coastal Connections, all that and more as Coast TV News returns.
Lewis has a new way to tell stories, not through words, but through art. And in this week's Coastal Connections, Elisa Weber takes us to the Lewis Historical Museum, where they've got a new mural that is telling the story of the first town in the first state.
A colorful mural now adorns the front of the Lewis Historical Museum, highlighting key moments in the city's rich history. Being chosen by Art in Bloom to create it was an honor artist Michael Rosato took very seriously.
Whenever I paint a mural, I think about that. How will the viewer engage in this, and when I'm painting, and it's very satisfying when that engagement is positive, and you get positive feedback. It means that you were successful in your interpretation, and it's. And I take the responsibility of painting, especially for other communities. Very important. It's something that I embrace wholeheartedly, mind, body, soul.
From Native Americans to Lewis's shipbuilding heritage, the artwork truly comes to life. So much so that you might do a double take, thinking parts of the painting, like the raccoon or the goldfinch, are actually real. Creating a mural like this is no easy task. Rosato spent more than 400 hours bringing the project to life, but he says the hard work is always worth it.
I call it the humility of preparation. If you prepare yourself well, for telling a story, usually by the end you'll have a successful, product.
Rosato says small American towns are often the best to paint for, as he finds they're often hidden gems and a melting pot for ideas. And of course, Lewis was no exception.
There's so much American history, in Lewis. You've got, the gambit. It's like a sweeping epic of a novel, in one little town. When you have that much history in a small town, there are so many rich stories, and it just makes the process of telling that story a lot easier.
This painting tells 5 stories of Lewis, from Native Americans hunting and gathering, the arrival of the Dutch, the city's role in the Underground Railroad, and finally, Lewis's rich maritime and shipbuilding history. Each scene is as captivating as the next.
And that's what I love about designing. The design process is that you think about all these little things. How do you engage the viewer to learn the story? And I know a little kid's going to come up here and say, "Mom, a bird," and then he's going to say, "Look at the boy," and then what's going on, and ask questions. That's the way I like to design it. I like it to, I want it to invite you in to learn it, and to be engaged with it, and then be kind of either blown away or, just enjoy.
The next time you're in Lewis, take a moment to appreciate this work of art. There's a good chance it'll inspire you to learn more about the first town in the first state. For Coastal Connections, I'm Elisa Weber.
It has been a gloomy, rainy, windy start to our Thursday as we take a live look into Cambridge. You can see those dark clouds, but the conditions are going to be improving through the afternoon, so that is certainly good news. We're at 64 in Cambridge. The last of the heaviest rain is now lifted off into South Jersey and southeastern PA. We have one little gasp of rain to go here, pushing into southwestern portions of the peninsula into Dorchester County, as well as southern areas, but the cold front is back off to the west. You can see we're drying out behind the front as this area of low pressure continues to lift to the northeast. And notice, well, there goes Melissa pushing out to sea and affecting Bermuda. Some of this moisture is actually going to get entrenched into this low and push up into the northeast. What a difference a year makes, right? This time last year, we were in the midst of a drought, 43 days without rainfall from September 27th through the 10th. Now this year, 33 days from September 27th to now, we've had nearly 3.5 inches of rain as this wet stretch continues. We're at 65 in Ocean View. We've had some heavy rain and also some coastal flooding issues. You can see winds have calmed considerably. We're seeing some gusts upwards of 27 Indian River Inlet to 17 in Owensboro. It's mild at this hour ahead of the front. We're at 69 in Bridgeville, 67 Milton, and 66 in Rehoboth. Now we have that wind advisory up for another 2 hours. I expect that to get expired here, but the coastal flooding has been an issue. We've seen reports of some flooding in and across Long Neck, the usual spots, and that coastal flood advisory is up through about 8 o'clock tonight, so that is going to be an issue through high tide. More significant flooding possible along the Chesapeake Bay. Coastal flood warning up Dorchester, Somerset, Wacomico. That is up through 4 a.m. Friday. Moderate to major flooding likely there, and that gale warning continues through the evening. So the remainder of the shower activity is going to be exiting through the afternoon. Over the next hour or two, we're going to begin to see clearing skies from west to east through the afternoon into the early evening hours, and a chilly night we fall back into the upper 40s. Those winds out of the south gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour, but the winds is really going to be calming down through the afternoon. You see more of a west wind as that front passes, but unfortunately the winds are going to be ramping up as we go into Halloween, gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour as this area of low pressure strengthens and lifts to the northeast. So the rain coming to an end here over the next few hours. We'll see partly cloudy skies through the afternoon and then mostly clear skies overnight as that system lifts to the northeast and strengthens, and we're looking at a really nice trick-or-treat forecast aside from the wind. We're looking at temperatures falling through the 50s through the afternoon and evening under mostly sunny skies. It'll be a clear, dry evening on Delmarva. We're at 62 on Saturday. Set those clocks back an hour into Sunday morning and a pretty nice weekend with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. And with that weather, the Cape May Lewis Ferry says it's canceling certain departures tomorrow due to the unexpected weather conditions. Now, officials say there will be no boats leaving from Cape May at 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. There will also be no boats leaving from Lewis at 11:15 a.m. and 2:45 p.m. Now, coming up on DSN at 6 p.m., it's another chance to catch Spirits of the Shore. Then at 6:30, tune in for the high school football pregame show, Scoops and Scores at 7 p.m. Live Henlopen and Conference football when Cape travels to Caesar Rodney. Then at the final score, it's 10:30. Also on DSN Plus, along with that Cape game, here are your exclusives. It's a full night of high school football at 6 p.m. Kent Island faces Queen Anne's at 6:30. Cambridge South Dorchester takes on Easton at 7. Sussex Tech visits Laurel.
If you join us today at 4 on Coast Life, we got a lot of fantastic fun coming your way. If you're a football fan, if you're a new football fan, and you've got a lot of questions about what's going on when it comes to watching a game, don't worry, we're going to break things down for you with our Football 101. We also have a Spill the Tea that is fan and football related. Have you ever rooted for your team in real life, but it becomes a problem when it comes to your fantasy team? Don't worry, we'll cover all of that and more today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Some things to know. Berlin is helping people who live there keep track of their water use. The town says New Berlin Consumer Water Portal is an online service that lets people manage use through charts and graphs. People can even, get this, set alerts, detect leaks, and create budgets. Town leaders say people can access that portal 24/7. A new cell tower disguised as a tree is coming to Ocean Pines. The Ocean Pines Association website shows the tower going in at 100 Clubhouse Drive. It's that area on your screen now. The association says the cell tower will improve service, obviously, in the community, but it will also keep the visual impact to a minimum. We'll be right back on Coast TV News Midday. A new warning from the Salisbury Police Department. They say there's been an increase in car thefts in the area. The agency is now advising ways that you can prevent crime. They say to keep your doors locked, it's always a good one, keep valuables out of view, and park in well-lit areas.
Well, we're going to see a few more hours of showers, but improving conditions through the afternoon as we take a live look into Laurel. 69 degrees, a mild day as the cold front pushes through. Temperatures going to be falling overnight back into the 40s. Get your latest forecast as always by dialing the First Alert Weather phone. Your full 10-day forecast is up next.
All right, Chris, I came across this video online this morning, and it's too good. Take a look at this. This is the Lewis Senior Activities Center. They are singing the YMCA. This was their funky bingo, okay? They had DJ Sharon. She got the good times rolling, and they are dancing. They are having a great time. Looks like it was even Halloween themed, perfect for the season. And Chris, if there's a chance that anyone from the Lewis Senior Center is watching, look, Chris and I would love an invite to the next bingo. Like come on, YMCA. Yeah. Like this is our audition. We can do it. We could have a great time, Chris.
I know. I think we would have a good time there.
Do you know how to do the YMCA? Like, are you trained in this? Have you done it before? I'm not sure. Like, maybe this first time I'm breeding.
Well, we have the last of the rain moving through the area. We're going to be drying out through the afternoon. 71, the cold front comes through. We're back down to 61 for Halloween. Sunshine, but windy Halloween. Gusts of 40 miles an hour, and overall a nice, dry, pleasant, calm weather patterns shaping up through the weekend.
Sounds like some beautiful weather then for Halloween, right? It'll be nice and dry tomorrow. Well, thank you for joining us here on Coast TV News Midday. If you like more local news or weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us back here for Coast TV News at 5. That is just later this afternoon. But until then, have a great day.